Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential problem, or I should say algebraic equation. So we have x minus 4 to the power of 3 is equal to negative 8. Now the first thing I'm going to do is add 8 on both sides. So now I have x minus 4 to the power of 3 plus 8 is equal to 0. Now 8 here, this is equal to 2 to the power of 3. So now I have x minus 4 to the power of 3 plus 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 0. Now if I have something in the form a to the power of 3 plus b to the power of 3, this is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. So in this case, a is equal to x minus 4, and b, this is equal to 2. So a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared, if we replace a with x minus 4 and b with 2, I have x minus 4 plus 2 times x minus 4 squared minus x minus 4 times 2 plus 2 squared. Now if we simplify this, x minus 4 plus 2 is simply x minus 2. Now I have this times x minus 4 squared is going to be x squared minus 8x plus 16. Now minus, if I distribute the 2, I get 2x minus 8. I have plus 2 squared, which is 4. Now I have x minus 2 times x squared minus 8x plus 16. Then if I distribute the negative sign, I get negative 2x plus 8 plus 4. And then now I have x minus 2 times x squared minus 10x plus 28. And remember, this is all equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I have x minus 2 is equal to 0. And I also have x squared minus 10x plus 28 is equal to 0. Now for x minus 2 is equal to 0, I can simply add 2 on both sides. So then these two cancel out. Now I'd be left with x is equal to 2. Now for x squared minus 10x plus 28 is equal to 0, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the quadratic formula, which states that negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So x is equal to this. So a would be the coefficient of the first term, which in this case is 1, so a is equal to 1. B would be the coefficient of the second term, which in this case is negative 10, so b is negative 10. And finally c, this would be the coefficient, this would just simply be the third term, which is 28. So c is 28. So now, if I plugged all of these values into our quadratic formula here, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, well, first off, b is equal to negative 10, so I would have negative of negative 10. Now plus or minus the square root of b squared, so b again is negative 10, so I'd have negative 10 squared minus now 4 times a, which is 1, times C, which is 28. Now we have all of this over 2 times A, which is 1. Now, if I simplify this, this is going to be equal to, now a negative of a negative is always going to be a positive, because remember, a negative number times a negative number is equal to a positive number. So a negative, you can think of this negative as negative 1. So it's like negative 1 times negative 10, which is going to be negative 10. Or sorry, positive 10. I have this plus or minus square root of negative 10 squared. Again, negative 10 squared is like negative 10 times negative 10. This is going to be a positive number, and 10 times 10 is 100, so it's going to be positive 100. So I have positive 100 minus 1 times 28 is simply 28. Now I have this over 2 times 1, which is obviously going to be 2. Anything times itself is 2. Now if I simplify this, I have 10 plus or minus the square root of 100 minus 4 times 28. That is going to be 112 over simply 2. Now, this is equal to 10 plus or minus the square root of 100 minus 112. That's going to be negative 12. Now this over 2. Now, negative 12 here, this can be written as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 12. I have this over 2, and I here, this is equal to the square root of negative 1. So now, I have 10 plus or minus, if I replace the square root of negative 1 with I, the square root of 12 times I over 2. Now, we aren't done yet, however, because I can simplify the square root of 12 to 10 plus or minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Now, the square root of 4 here, this is obviously going to be 2. So now I have 10 plus or minus 2 root 3i over 2. Now we can divide 2 with both of these. So now I get 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I have 5 plus or minus. These two will cancel out. So simply just the square root of 3i. So this would be our answer. So my three solutions of x are x is equal to 2, x is equal to 5 plus the square root of 3i, and x is equal to 5 minus the square root of 3i. So these are our three solutions.